Let's take a look at the updates in version 2.0.1.3 called version 13. We did release a version 12, but that only went out to a few customers and a bug was recognized very quickly, which we squashed very quickly. But we've just increased the version number to 13, just so those version 12 users could update easily. So let's take a look at what we've got in this update. The first one is the data reports. So just like you could produce learning reports for selected children, you can now produce data reports. So if we only have a health record, so the health information here, if we've only recorded health information for a certain number of children, then we might wish to just produce a health report based on those children. So you can select the children and then produce the report, and you'll only get those two selected children. So same goes for all the others. So if we select a number of children and go for our headshots, there they are there. So you've got full control over what you produce in your data reports. Next up is the comments tab. So the comments here, we've now split this into two types of comment. And you can tell by the comments I've written here that one is for the text that appears on the front of the cover page on your progress report, and the other text can be completely different, and that affects the text on the first page of the portfolio. And you'll notice down the bottom here, the other thing we've added is that you can browse and add an image file that will appear in your portfolio. So if we now look, first if we look at our progress report, on the cover page you'll get whatever text you've typed in that comment field, and in the portfolio you'll see on the first page we get this text, and we also get the image that we've added in that new setup field. Okay, up next we have one that's been asked for quite some time. Sorry it took a little while. It's thumbnails on your work samples. So if we take a look at an observation and jump out to our work samples tab, we now have thumbnails, so you can clearly see what image you've added. If I double click on that, I can blow that up to full size. And also when you view your portfolios, you'll see in the portfolio on the buttons there is a very tiny thumbnail within the button, just to indicate that there is a picture. And also if you hold your mouse over that, it will actually show you a preview of that picture. But of course if you click it, then you get the full picture. And next up, we have a change on our formatting toolbar. So any formatting toolbar you see, you'll now see that the font size and the font are split into two separate boxes. So this will allow you to now select text and just change the font if that's all you want to change. So it will keep the font size the same. Now some of you may have noticed there's a new button up here called duplicate. You can now duplicate an observation. So let's assume we've done this wonderful observation a few weeks ago for Safe, Secure and Supported, and we would like to now duplicate that to other students. So I select the observation, have it open here, I can be in any of my tabs, and I hit the duplicate button. And now I can select other children I would like to copy that observation to. So I'll select two children there, and I'll apply that. And what happens is it opens up a screen that's very similar to the multiple observation button. And what you can do, I imagine in most cases you would leave the outcome and the element exactly the same. You could change it if you wish. You could change the date. It defaults to today's date. You could add more images. But you'll notice down here that it has the text from the actual observation we're duplicating from. So it will have that child's name in it. So if you're applying this to multiple children again, then just replace the child's name with the variable name as you normally would in a multiple observation. So if you're only duplicating to a single child, then you would put that child's name in. But if you were applying to multiple children, then you would have to go and put the variable in, and the same with on the learning story. And then you apply that, so it's exactly the same as a multiple. And now if we look at Emma, we can see there's a new Safe, Secure and Supported observation down here. Here it is, with the work samples, with the learning story, and the comment has Emma's name in it because we used the name variable. So quite a handy button, that duplicate. Saves you copying and pasting and trying to rebuild observations that you want to use for other children. Another simple update is that we've put the print buttons here for the printing the learning stories, and they're now available on any of the observation tabs. So you can see the print button is always available. Previously it was only available under the Worksamples and the Learning Story tab. And finally, I'll show you this with a learning story. If I print a learning story, you'll see that we now have pushed the logo, so your Kinder logo if you've inserted one, onto each of the learning stories. So this is great for identifying your service when these learning stories go home to parents.